Welcome to PJ Storytime here at Bradley Public Library. I'm Miss Allison, and tonight we are going to be reading some stories, so get all snuggled up and ready to listen. The first one we're going to read about is about a squash. I have a garden that I've been growing all summer, and things are starting to be able to be picked, tomatoes and green peppers, and I have a squash in there. Have you ever had a squash or tried it? It's one of my favorite vegetables. All right, let's find out about Mrs. McNosh and the Great Big Squash by Sarah Weeks. The first day of spring, Miss Nellie McNosh went out to her garden and planted a squash. She pushed the seed in with the tip of her toe, and the minute she did, it started to grow. At first, it was round and as big as a head. In fact, it looked just like the paperboy, Fred. Do you think that looks like Paperboy? Then it turned yellow and bumpy and fat. It rolled from the garden and it flattened the cat. It knocked over the trash cans and ran over toes. It twisted the sprinkler and it plugged up the hose. It crashed through the clothesline and smashed through the fence, scaring the pants off two elderly gents. That's a pretty big squash, isn't it? Poor Nellie was worried. She said, "Oh my gosh, there's got to be some way to slow down this squash." She slapped it and she scolded it, she pinched it and kicked it, and then she took hold of its stem and she picked it. Snap. Now what do I do, wonders Mrs. McNosh. I've got to find something to do with this squash. There isn't a place in the world it will fit. It's big as a house. Wait, said Nellie. That's it. Wonder what she's gonna do. And so by the light of the big yellow moon, she scooped and she scraped with a long-handled spoon. And when the sun rose, where was Mrs. McNosh? She was curled up, sound asleep, inside her big yellow squash. She turned it into a house. Look at all the birds. They're eating the seeds. That's pretty funny. My squash isn't that big. I can't make a house out of mine. I just cut it up and cooked it. Our second story tonight is going to be You Belong Here by M.H. Clark. The stars belong in the deep night sky, and the moon belongs there too. And the winds belong in each place they blow by, and I belong here with you. The whales and the fishes belong in the sea, and the waves belong by the shore, and the dunes where the grasses belong to be, because grasses are what dunes are for. And the trees belong in the wild wood, and the deer belong in their shade, and the birds belong so safe and good and warm in the nests that they've made. And you belong where you love to be, and after each day is through, you will always belong right next to me, and I'll belong next to you. The frogs and the lilies belong in the lake where the water is silver and clear, and the turtles belong in the homes that they make in the sand where the water is near. The otters belong by the banks of the stream, and the cattails belong there too. See the cattails? It's a kind of plant. And the carp belongs where the water runs green, and the shadows all run blue. And you belong right here where you're home and where I hold you close. All of the wonders I've ever known, you're the one that I love most. The hair belongs in the desert air where the rocks are red and gold, and those rocks belong with the comets out there, which flash bright when the night turns cold. The foxes belong high in canyon hills, and the sage there belongs in the sun, and the lizard belongs in the light sitting still until they are ready to run. The crickets belong in the old stone wall, and the bees belong in the clover, just as winter belongs in its place after fall, before the new year starts over. And you are a dream that the world once dreamt, and now you are part of its song. That's why you are here, in this place you were meant, for this is right where you belong. The pines belong on the mountainsides, tucked under their blanket of snow, and the bears belong in the caves where they hide whenever the storm starts to blow. Some creatures were made for their land or the air, and others were made for the sea. Each creature is perfectly home right there, in the place it belongs to be. And no matter what places you travel to and wonders you choose to see, I will always belong right here with you, and you'll always belong with me. The end, and it's the pictures of the people who, the author, M.C. Clark, and then Isabella Essernault was the illustrator. All right. So for book 3 tonight, we're going to read Beep, Beep, Go to Sleep. Are you guys ready to go to sleep? Beep, Beep, Go to Sleep by Todd Tarpley. 3 little robots, time for bed, time to dim your infrared. Brush your rotors round and round, clean your shields. And power down. Quiet at last. Not a peep. 3 little robots are. Beep, beep. Is something wrong? I need my coil. My sensor aches. I want more oil. Better now? Then rest your head. And 3 little robots back to bed. Quiet at last, not a peep. 3 little robots are. Beep, beep. What is it now? I need a light. My fan belt's loose and my bolt's too tight. Quiet at last, not a peep. 3 little robots are fast. Beep, beep. Robots, are you still awake? Engines off, for goodness sake. No more beeping, no more talking, no more squeaking, no more squawking. No more blipping, blinking, boinking, winking, whirring, squeaking, oinking. Oinking? Go to sleep. Quiet quiet at last. Not a peep. 3 little robots are. Beep, beep. What now? You need what? Oh, a bedtime story. Somewhere there are robots beeping, buzzing, bouncing, squawking, squeaking, blipping, bopping, boinking, blinking, winking, whirring, even oinking. But not these robots snuggled deep. They've finally put their boy fast asleep. The end. Good night, friends. How about we do Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star before we say goodbye? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good night, friends. Thanks for joining us at PJ Storytime. Bye.